The first step would obviously be sobriety. When's the last time you smoked?
Yeah, like a week. I don't know.
That didn't sound confident at all.
I don't know the date. I didn't write the date down in my calendar.
Yeah, a week ago, an hour ago, you know, same thing.
What are you doing here?
I am Sam, and I'm going to be talking to my ex-girlfriend.
What do you want to say?
I'm hoping to get some closure. I think just the way that things ended with us.
This dude is
It's just
sweating.
been hard for me to move on.
Yeah, I think that there were resolutions and sort of developments that have happened since we ended things that I would like to talk about.
Why don't you feel closure?
I feel like we didn't really get into the nitty-gritty of like why we broke up. It just kind of ended and we transitioned into being friends.
Why in the dark?
I'm more of a confrontational person, but I find that other people aren't. So I think that it's more comfortable for other people either to do things over the phone or not face to face, although I guess this will be, but we won't see each other.
Well, you ready to do this?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. Lights off.
This is so weird.
Hi.
Hey.
Oh, did I just touch your pants?
I'm like still
Should I try to
closing
get
my
closer,
eyes.
or- Oh, I feel like we're too close.
Hi.
Hey. Do you want to explain
Well, that's
why
awkward.
we're here today?
Well, I think you know that I'm very sorry for the way things ended with us.
I feel like every time you say you're sorry, it just kind of like feels like a slap in the face because I gave you so many chances to fix things, and to just turn around and say, oh, I'm sorry, with no action to back it up was just heartbreaking.
What are you sorry for?
I'm sorry for lying to her.
About what?
Smoking.
Weed, alcohol, and
He smokes
some other
alcohol?
stuff.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk to you because I wanted to tell you that I'm sorry. I think that I would start out with that. I think there's a lot that I have to apologize for.
I honestly stopped feeling special, you know. A lot of the things stopped that were there in the early stages of our relationship that, like, you know, won me over. Part of me feels like you kind of chose work over me, but I also know that, like, I didn't have a job at the time, so that was a lot
What
of
a
responsibility
bum, bro.
for you.
You traumatized me a lot when it comes to relationships. I've spent the last 2 years overcoming that and healing from that, and I think this is kind of the final
2
thing to
years.
really heal from that trauma. Unfortunately, when I look back on our memories, majority of them are bad.
Yeah, it
And
hurts.
one of those memories was you wanted to go meet up with one of your friends who was in town, and you had been drinking a little too much, and when we got there, you just took tequila shots from him and everything. While I was sitting on the couch, I look over and you're kissing him in the kitchen.
I got so drunk that night that I fell asleep naked in my own house alone and peed in my closet.
Is that the night you peed in your closet?
Yeah, that was not my best night. It's weird to me to think
Oh, hell
about
no.
little moments that you remember that I don't. Because
Forget
they were
that bitch,
insignificant
bro.
to me, but they weren't to you.
I mean, the roughest part of our relationship was probably the beginning. You getting over your addiction, but it just ended up being a recurring issue.
Bro,
I
just
feel
let
like
my man
part of
smoke
me
his
took you
weed,
for
dude.
granted a
It's
lot,
not that deep,
but I
bro.
also felt taken for granted myself.
And that was the last thing I wanted to do, was make you feel like you're being taken for granted. It was so surreal starting to date you, like, during the pandemic. kind
No,
of.
yeah, we had so much time together.
And then coming back to reality from that is like...
God, don't mention
took,
the pandemic,
like,
bro.
1,000 steps back.
Every time that
Actually, it
you
wasn't that
made
bad because I don't
your
leave my house
decisions,
anyway.
did you consider what was at stake? Because I had told you every time, right? I'd always threatened the relationship if you had relapsed or went behind my back.
I feel like I kind of didn't let myself
I
think about
think
the consequences.
threatening your relationship
kinda-
because your
You
chose
partner
not
has
to,
an
or-
addiction is toxic.
Probably.
That's kind of fucked up.
I think one of the biggest dynamics that we had was that you would have very high expectations for me. So I would try to reach whatever standard you set for me, and the moment I got there, you would act like I didn't reach it at all. I remember that conversation kind of, that I told you that you never told me you were proud of me or anything like that, and you're like, why would I be proud of you? You haven't done anything to make me proud of you.
I had a problem
Well, damn.
with sort of like the negative self-talk in my head, you know, like coaching myself, you know, like, what the fuck are you doing? You're doing this wrong. How are you fucking
Hey,
this up?
whoa,
Like,
you're
it's
gonna
been
get
a
their
total slap
video
in the face of
demonetized,
how
bro.
I expected myself to be and other people
Emiliano, is there anything you think I could give you in terms of closure? Any questions you have unanswered?
Yeah, would you want to get back together at some point?
Well, first of all, I would have to not be seeing somebody right now in a hypothetical sense, hypothetically. Honestly, if we had more time for each other, that's one of the biggest things for me is like
She's dating someone and
quality
she's
time.
talking to her
like
ex
right
in the
place,
dark.
right time type of thing.
For
What
what?
would it take for us to get back together?
The first step would obviously be sobriety. When's the last time you smoked?
Yeah, like a week. I don't know.
That didn't sound confident at
I
all.
don't know the date. I didn't.
It
write
was
the date
definitely
down
this
in my
morning.
calendar.
Don't
I
lie.
don't think that we can even be friends because you'd only be getting half of what you wanted. And I feel like us communicating kind of makes it harder for you to like get over that idea of like hoping and like regret and all those things.
Yeah, I think that after
What?
we called things off for the final time, I think that it was a really weird situation for me because I didn't really mourn our breakup for like a year. I don't know if it was just, you know, how I used to be really busy and doing things all the time, just sort of like distracted. And so I think that that was, at first it wasn't anything to me, and then it kind of hit me like a wall.
I thought I was
A year
fully healed from
later?
that, but intuition is weird. And I was thinking about, before I got the text for this, I was thinking about the fact that I want to heal from this fully.
Yeah.
And so it felt like the perfect timing to really just let it go.
Do you think closure is possible at this point?
I think so. With time, hoping that this conversation helps with that.
I don't know if I'll fully ever get over you going behind my back, but again, like you
Oh
said,
my god,
time,
going behind her
time
back to
heals.
smoke
and
weed. Oh
I'm
my
ready for the
god.
healing.
What?
Overall, I am so sorry. I want to say that I hope that you.
If your partner has to
really
go
realize
behind your
self-worth
back
and
to
how cool of a
smoke
person that
weed
you
of
are,
all
and I hope
things,
that this
come on,
isn't
bro.
something that you need to do that because you don't need.
Maybe
me to
you're
tell
the
you that.
problem.
I don't know if it's necessarily closure, but just kind of, I guess it would be closure.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, that's fucking awkward.
Hi. Can I hug you?
Sure.
How was that?
It was cool.
It was cool,
I felt like,
like-
I could say a little bit more of what I
This
haven't
dude looks like
said
a
to him
vibe,
before.
bro.
I liked it a lot. It was
It's less stressful. You couldn't see the faces I was making either, so when you were talking, so
same.
same.
This guy is
Some
definitely
faces were
stoned
good.
right
You
here.
did the same thing. What you looking at me like
You're
that
right,
for?
you're right, I can't judge.
He's definitely
I feel like
stoned
this has
right
brought
now.
us closer. Like,
No, honestly, I do.
I feel like we help each other get out of our comfort zones.
This
That's
is it
true.
hot
Whether
as
we're
fuck
dating or
in
we're
there or
not.
something,
Very
bro? They're
true.
all
Is there a
sweating.
future friendship here? Is there a future unblocking from social media?
I don't know about friendship. I think just acquaintances, probably, at least for now. Knowing that you understand your role in our relationship helps me be able to move on and not hold any hatred for her. I just think this was the closure that we needed. Do you think so?
Yeah.